Hi guys, so good morning to you guys. Today's 29th of April 2025. We seem to have gotten a new update. The update takes us to 5.6.0.8909, and it promises quite a bit of a feature set. I will put the description of all the changes that is in the release notes on the screen, so that you guys can follow up with the update. But so let's see if this thing is any better now. If it is, it's improved. We've got the valley route. I'm going to punch in the destination. Destination is punched in, so we do have a route sort of set up. I should basically be able to just hit the lever. Please apply the brakes before switching gears. Well, it seems like okay. That didn't work from standstill, so I need to pull out and then see. Well, it's picked up. Now let's see if it's able to find the right exit this time. If you recall my previous videos, it went forward instead of taking this turn. Now it looks like it is able to take the right turn. So certainly from the get-go we do have an improvement there, and that sounds like a good thing. Now let's see if we are able to take the next turn as well. We are in the underground parking. So being able to navigate out of the underground parking, get to the exit, wait for the gate to open, and then be able to go through is certainly a good test of the system, given the update 5.6.0.8908. Okay, so we've come to sort of a halt. The gate is opened. And we are going to gracefully sort of go through, which is sort of refreshing to see that now we do have sort of a good take. There is a car coming through, and it's sort of taking it slowly. The car sort of slow down there, so luckily we're able to get into there. But once more, entry into main roads is not the best currently. Both logic and planning and perception, all those three things need to be improved significantly. The important protocol to observe, as in stop, ensure that you've got the right of way to enter the main road. Ensure that you're not inconveniencing someone that is entering, or someone that is pretty much using the road at that particular point in time.
Activated outside air circulation.
These are all important points to sort of take into consideration when entering into the road, especially if you're coming from a private road into a public road. The need to observe this protocol is quite an important part to ensuring safety. So certainly that one still has some work to be done on that, but so far it is pretty good that we were able to eventually get out of the underground parking, find the right exit. In other words, the path planning, decisioning, perception seem to have been sort of improved in that scenario, and as a result we were able to exit the underground parking without any disengagement, almost to consider that it was a smooth experience altogether, even though we need to consider this concept of smoothness also in tandem with when other people are using the same road. But we were lucky that we didn't have anyone actually also using the pretty much on on our exit this morning, so it was sort of considered a smooth sail altogether. So that's a good thing. Hopefully we could see that repeat itself multiple times in order to consider that a real improvement in the capability of the car or in the capability of Xpilot, rather than it being a fluke or once in a while sort of a smooth experience. So yeah, we are tracking through. This is supposed to be a short video. The update just came through, and I hope that I can post this quickly as possible so that folks can get it almost fresh off the bat. Being a short video, it's going to be just about it's just a 4.8 km drive. So we're going to be way sort of around the 10 to 15 minutes experience of the new software. Once more, our journey is such that we need to do a temporary stop. A temporary stop meaning that normally every morning I need to do that stop to pick up my my breakfast and then continue the journey. All through that, as far as the map is concerned, that's been part of the recorded route for AI driver. But the consideration now is that will it take into fact that I stopped and then continue the journey, so it will essentially also stop and then enable me to sort of get out, go pick up my breakfast, return back, and then hit the lever again, and it would resume the same journey. This would be a test to also prove that the logic for AI driver being able to account for stopovers has also been considered. But I am not essentially hanging my head out on that one. Hopefully it has been considered, but again, let's see how that goes. We're coming up to this intersection. It's quite sometimes a lousy intersection because you've got that guy that wants to sort of cut through there, and then also you've got the entrance into the section, but it was pretty okay. There wasn't any uneventual sort of scenario there to address, so all things being equal, that was sort of like a good experience. That guy stopped or got out of the road, and the way it managed to also preempt that is improved because it was a smooth or gradual sort of deceleration and then pick up, which is good. So all things being equal, so far so good. Let's continue to see exactly how it embraces the rest of the journey, and then of course I'll chip in where there is also a sort of observed trend that I'm looking out for an improvement on. This is another sort of junction where you do have folks coming in from the left, but they have behaved this morning, so I guess the experience should be almost seamless, and there it is. Let's see how that is handled. Slowing down there for that zebra crossing, but the approach to managing zebra crossing still needs to be improved, because the sudden deceleration and almost decelerating on the zebra crossing itself rather than before the zebra crossing, so that whoever is following is well informed ahead of time. Now this is where we need to make that turn. Let's see if it's able to. Okay, it's actually tricky there. The guy there was trying to enter the road, and the way it took the turn was not exactly very smooth. It's struggling now. the gate is open and it is still struggling. I had to sort of watch the left rear side mirror to make sure that it was not going to rub against the curb, but hopefully that was okay. But that was not exactly a very smooth experience. Now, what is it doing? Okay, so, well, that was a bit sketchy there because it wasn't really on its path, but it managed to correct itself. And now we are coming up to also another tricky area. We've got folks that are crossing, so it needs to sort of slow down, but it slowed down too suddenly, and that would end up with, you know, creating a scenario where people would need to, or will be sort of, okay, anyway, that's okay. The person is sort of walked through, and now we coming up to the section where we would need to stop. It needs to preempt those cyclists or motorcycle guys coming through, and then it takes the turn, get to parking, park. Okay, so that was good. That's the first part of the drive, which brings me to this section where I would need to go grab my breakfast. It's been able to do that. It's successfully done that without any disengagement, but it wasn't a really smooth sort of experience. In other words, things that we needed to observe, protocol for safety, all these things need to be improved. And hopefully, you know, that improvement would come in sometime soon with another update or so. Okay, so great. I'm going to just pause the recording, go grab my breakfast and return, and then we continue from there. Thank you.
Remember to check the back seats. Never leave any child unattended in the vehicle.
Okay guys, I'm back, and unfortunately we do not have the route available anymore. So technically speaking, it's executed only one part of the journey, and then the other part of it, it's discarded. Which is yeah, if you can't finish it, you just dump it and avoid a situation where someone marks you down.
东莞今天发布暴雨黄色预警，全天雷阵雨转多云，21度至28度，比昨天凉爽一些。当前空气质量指数38，空气挺好的。Day mode is active.
I'd love to test the other part of the journey as well, especially to sort of get a sense of being able to go through the other gate again. So far, well, we've got this one. Let's see if we are able to sort of use that.
准备出发，250米后到达目的地。NGC is about to exit after the vehicle runs 200 meters.
But that's a pretty short, very short sort of trip. It's supposed to take me to the entrance into my office, and folks are parked on the shoulder of the road, so it's struggling to sort of get a perception corrected as to understand exactly what's happening, and then apply the logic of being able to use this this particular track to make the turn. So this is where the turn is. It's able to sort of get the turn through there almost. Okay, I needed to urge it on because it was almost sort of like confusing the guy that was cycling or using the motorcycle, and so the experience is a bit sketchy. This is what I observe, and it's sort of like giving me the impression that the system is still not cooked up too well, and that could be part of the problem with the current perception planning pipeline. There is certainly an improvement, but optimization needs to be sort of brought into play here, and I don't know whether the optimization will be requirement for more data, especially with regards to entry exit into underground parking spaces, or entry exit into private lanes, or could be just planning and use of lanes altogether, especially if it's not a mapped section of the road. But again, we've been able to do that. There was only one time that I needed to urge it on. In other words, I needed to put feet on the pedal to sort of let it move faster. I think twice. One of them when we actually were entering into that section of the road, we had that cyclist, or the that electric cyclist trying to sort of also use a road at the same time, or crossing the road. So I needed to sort of urge on not to sort of confuse the guy, because they stopped already, and the car was pretty much was not sure whether to stop or to go, and then it sort of halted. But the guy had already stopped, and so I needed to sort of urge it on to move forward. And then also we had the scenario where when we were getting into the into the other part of the campus, there was a guy that was actually exiting, and the car essentially had was slowly sort of creeping to cross the main road, which is pretty dangerous. So I also had to urge it on there. Well, so that's it. I guess it was an improvement, and I believe that improvement certainly should be observed. if you look at my
The
previous
climate
videos,
has been with energy savings.
you would have seen the scenario didn't play out smoothly compared to this journey. So certainly we can consider the 5.6.0.8909 a sort of great improvement to consider. All right, so thank you very much. That was supposed to be that short video to sort of bring you guys up to speed with the latest update. And I will be sharing more about that, especially for longer journeys as the holidays or the May holidays sort of approach. So thank you very much and see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye-bye.